I think for today's video, I'm gonna talk at you. No suit and costume or anything like that. No game. Maybe I might load up a game. Nah, fuck that actually. No, I'm just gonna talk at you. This that you're looking at, this is FL Studio. This is my favorite thing to use to make music, actually. This is the video I was watching on YouTube. I wish I could live stream stuff that would be interesting to people. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. But alright. I'm gonna go here. I've got a mini keyboard plugged into my computer. That's awesome, actually. Right? Okay, let's get serious, right? Cool. Okay, cool. I'm gonna talk at you for a bit. Alright. Okay, project info. I have spent damn near 60 hours working on this album. Right? This is an album, and it sits at about 30 minutes, right? 60 hours, 60, and about 4 minutes of work on this. 3 minutes of work on this. It will be 60 hours on this. And it's still not done, right? Got a bunch of collabs with my friends, funny named songs, and overall just like genuine, like some of the best stuff that I've ever made. All within the last 2 to 3 months, with the exception of maybe like the first few that are already released, and like a few that didn't make it to the EP that I poured, the single, because it's a single, because it's only got 3 on it, right? I love making music. In fact, making music is something that I've been doing for a really long time. Started playing the piano at age 4. Didn't stick with the lessons because I preferred creating my own things rather than learning what other people were making and songs and how to play songs that were already special in the hearts of many. Just I'd rather make my own thing and have it be special to me. And that's kind of how I've looked at this music stuff for the longest time. You know, and that's to my benefit and to my detriment. I can create whatever I want, and I'm very good at that. But to my detriment, because nobody seems to care, and I'm at a point where in my own life, genuinely, if I wanted to make a career out of this, I'd be at an impasse, because I'd no longer be doing what I'd been doing for the longest, which was what made it so appealing, which was making my own thing, right? Imagine, right? You get into music because you get to make your own thing, and then the only way that you can make money is by making something that you're told to do. That kind of kills the joy in making music, for me and for some people that I know. And if you're only ever making money and like receiving attention on things you make for other people, it kind of, that sucks after a while, actually, even. But in today's video, I talked to the camera about my being 23 and still living at home with my parents, actually having moved back in, basically, because trying to live out on my own is damn difficult. Not impossible, but very fucking difficult because of the way of the world is working right now. It's actually, it makes more sense to be that sort of like reject man-child that lives at home with parents than to damn near risk killing myself if I suffer an injury at work that makes me unable to work, which then means I'm out of a job. Not to mention any of the stress, right? You're out of a job, you can't pay for the lease on the house or the apartment or whatever, or the rent, and you're homeless, and then that means you can't get a new job because you've got no address to send documents to. And then, you know, just imagine, right? How is everybody 3 bad months away from being homeless, but that just doesn't seem to happen except until like maybe 1 or 2 people in 100 that you might know. But never think about outside of like whether or not they're brought up in conversation. Anyway, more importantly, right, I'm sidetracked. I'm gonna upload this video raw so I can go back and listen to it and then be like, damn, I really was thinking about these things in the year 2025 in the summer. Like, there's 104 days of summer vacation and I cannot think of how to spend it, or whatever. I don't remember how the song goes. One of my favorite shows, Phineas and Ferb. I loved that damn show. In fact, Perry the Platypus was one of my fave, like, just whatever that poor duck, bird, bill, whatever a platypus is supposed to be, egg-laying mammal, whatever Perry was up to, I was interested. Perry and Doofenshmirtz would go back and forth, and it was crazy. That show was crazy, man. Phineas and... So stick with us, cause Phineas and Ferb, we're gonna do it all. That's me and my music, actually. I'm gonna do all the type of music that I want, and it's gonna go and be awesome. Like, oh, talk about all the types of music. I put my heart and soul into my album that I call Autumn, and maybe only 100 people have heard it, and that's a lot of people. And I'm really happy that that many people enjoyed my project. But 100 people listening to my song once, or my album once, or whatever, right? As much as I put the time into that, some of those songs, 40, 50, like, imagine putting an entire work week into a song, but over the course of a year, maybe, right? It's one thing to put a work week into a song over the course of a work week, but a work week. A work week worth of time into a song over the course of a year. The refinement and just the tweaks and the changes and the going back and forth. That's a lot of work. I guess what I'm trying to say is, in theory, I get paid nothing for any of that. At least right now. Like, if I fucking say I live in the city of, you know, the city that I live in, right, where minimum wage is $20 an hour, right? If I spent, that's $800 lost on making something that I put my heart and soul into. If you look at it through that capitalistic lens, like, I could be using that time to make money, and that's so fucked up. And I hate that I think about that like that. I actually priced that song very close to that on my Bandcamp as a reminder that, hey, if I got paid for the effort I put into this, I would be very, very happy. But that's not how this works, at least not right now, and maybe it never will. Maybe it changes up so fantastically in a way that I'll never understand until I'm actually there. But I'm not saying I want money, but it's kind of hard to live without it. And I don't want to necessarily be filthy rich either, because that just invites a lot of negative attention and a negative attraction, people who are not so great wanting it. I don't want that attention. I'd rather just be able to sustain myself comfortably and maybe be able to help out my friends here and there. It's like, hey, if I've got the money to DoorDash dinner to my door every night, that's pretty comfortable living. I don't even gotta go get my own food. I can have it delivered to my doorstep. That's comfortable living. Right? Very few get to enjoy that privilege without worrying about budgeting or whatever. Let alone carefree, right? Like, just, hey, I want this for dinner, and I don't care that there's an extra $15 to $20 of service tax because the company itself doesn't pay its drivers. I love and I hate the city. It's a very beautiful city in the summertime, but just like in general, this city is not the city it used to be, and it's changing. And I'm stuck here, which is Well, I'm stuck here because I've not got the money to go anywhere else. I'm talking about money again. Who wants to talk about money? Money's so unpleasant to talk about because we all fucking need it. But nobody wants to be the guy to say, I need money, because it makes you look whatever, right? I'm talking at the camera. I'm talking at this fucking video. There is no reason for me to talk at this video other than I'm going to try to do things on my YouTube channel because I've been like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Well, do something, you know? And so this video that's probably only going to get like 3 or 4 views, and then maybe one really heartfelt comment from a friend or a random person that I've met on the internet, right? I'm going to be happy if I see that. And then I'm going to go on my day, and then I'm going to think about, man, maybe I make a video like this tomorrow. Maybe I don't visit my channel for another 2 or 3 months. But there's no real drive for me to spend fucking 16 to 20 hours editing a video for my YouTube anymore. Like, I remember wanting to do that at the tail end of my teenage years and moving into like young adulthood, right? I remember putting all that time and effort in and learning how to do all of that and studying YouTube and all that. And I learned a lot of things like, hey, you want a viral video? Make people care with your video, right? Duh. But that's a lot harder said than done, right? The odds that any of you stick through to watch any of what I have to say here in this video are so astronomically low that it's quite literally probably going to actually only be people that really care about who I am and what I do. Because you have no reason to care about what is being said in this video if you don't know me, and if you don't care to know me, you're never going to hear what is said in this video, and I'm perfectly okay with that, right? The type of person that makes you want to care because they feel like they should, I don't think I'm that person. If you don't care about what I have to offer, at the end of the day, so be it. You're going to do what you want to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do, and we're going to not do the same thing. You know? But yeah, again, right? Like, I'm making this video because I'm talking at the camera, and it's better than day in, day out, same shit. Maybe I play a different game. Maybe I change the stakes in my video game that I play with my friends. Or maybe my friends have gotten better at the game, so the experience is different, ever so slightly, but not enough to change the blurring of the day and day, whatever. The birds are chirping outside. I'm talking at you, and this breaks the pattern of I wake up, I make a song, or I wake up and I talk to my friends, and then I go to sleep when I've had enough, right? Or like going into work or whatever, or working on this album or whatever the fuck, right? Or like for y'all in school type shit, go to school. I guess school is out right now because it's summer, it's July. Man, those fireworks were pitiful, dog. But then again, what is there really to celebrate when the whole country seems to be tearing itself apart right now? But that is not something I'm going to talk too intently about because I don't care. I can't care. It can't really affect me right now. Not personally, not in this moment. It'll affect me some other point when I think about it and realize, damn, shit is actually going down. But right now, it can't affect me because I'm not going to let it because I don't care. Not because it won't affect me. Not because what's going on I'm oblivious to or I'm impervious to, because it absolutely will affect me. I live in a country that has to. But in this moment, I'm not going to let it. And that's what I mean. It's like, you cannot hurt me because I'm not going to let you because I don't care. But I will address these feelings and what that's all about later. Just not right now, not while I'm making this video. It's not necessarily about pretending to be happy or trying to be happy all the time, because I found that just doing what I love creates that happiness for me. I don't have to try to be happy if I'm genuinely just happy with the fact that I make music and I love what I make, right? If I want to make something, I can make it, and it's relatively easy for me to do because of the 8 goddamn years I put into learning how to do this shit, which I will say again, Just to remind you, because that 8 years was not 8 years of me going, hey, I'm going to try to fucking put one note down and then the next day I'm going to try to add another. No. When I was in high school I actually started to not do good in high school because I spent 6 hours a day learning how to make this music better. That is commitment on another level. And that type of commitment is what creates a prodigy, right? That type of desire to create gives the world things that it would revere if it were a different era, right? But whatever, right? Just 8 billion people on the earth. Who's paying attention to any single one person that's not rich or held up by a select group of people or marketed around by a big company, man? Why are the best businessmen terrible human beings? I guess that then means that being human is like about caring, and then they're terrible human beings because they don't care, because all they care about is the money and the material. So then being human should be about the opposite of that. But you know what? Beyond all of that, right? I'm just a musician on a silly blue dot in the speck of space. And my life is mine to live, and I am living it. It's not as good as it could be. And my only problem with my life is that I'm not doing what I want in full, only in part, right? I'm making the music that I want. And for a really long time, I could ignore everything else because I got to do that. But I'm an adult now with responsibilities. I'm not doing what I want in full. And that's because I haven't taken care of all of my responsibilities. Not truly. A lot of them, maybe, but not all of them. And lesser now than in the previous few months. Money, man. For something that you can't take with you when you die, you sure as hell need a lot of it to live. Or so we're told. Look, we're all poor, and the world, the negative programming that exists in the social media makes you hate people who are just like you, because it teaches you that you're different from all of them. And then you find things to identify yourself, which are good, but then the social media teaches you that, hey, you're different from them, they're different from you, and that's a bad thing for whatever reason. Oh, I know exactly why. So that way you never actually question it. It's like, hey, I'm different from them, and I don't like some of the things that they do, so they're wrong. And then they go, no, you're wrong. And then you never talk to each other, and you never question who put those notions in your head in the first place. Everything is fed to you. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to really wonder what it is that you're being fed, or at least you should. Because what if it really isn't good for you, like how it was told it was? You know, back in the day, they said lead was good. They said cocaine in the Coca-Cola was good. They said smoking as a pregnant person was good once. Do you really think they got it all right now? No, we're always updating. So even things that are popular and trendy now might also just be as detrimental, or if not worse even. We could be wrong about the smartphones even. Not to talk about like 5G and 4G versus 20 bluey blankets. If you know, you know. But, man, Bluey is such a good TV show. If you want to learn how to be a better human being, watch Bluey. I don't care how old you are. Watch Bluey. It's an amazing show. There might be people who, I'm a black person, right? I am an African American. And so, even though on the internet publicly, I don't usually, like, talk about that part of my identity or engage in the culture that is associated with having that part of my identity a whole lot publicly. I do privately, absolutely. But publicly, I don't really engage in that, because engaging in that pushes a lot of people away that I'm close to, ironically enough. Some of them just like, because they aren't comfortable with being around that type of person, because they've never done it before, or that can be scary, I don't do it that often publicly. But privately, everybody knows, they get it. Anyway, right? I guess my point here is, fuck it, I'm not even gonna go into it, whatever. Just, that can be random, and then I could listen back to me talk about that and go, oh, I was gonna say this thing, and then I'm whatever. Right, whatever, man. That's just, I give up. I fucking give up. Whatever, fuck the point. Who cares, right? I'm black. That scares certain groups of people. If I engage in being black or whatever, you get the point, right? So I don't act black in public a whole lot. I'm just a guy, right? Sure. What was the point of even bringing that up? What was the fucking point? I don't fucking remember. Yeah, you understand now, but like, what was the whole point? Like, you get what it is, but why did I say that? Right, identity, right? I'm a lot of things. But I don't care about being these things, because it's not important to be these things. Once you understand what it is to be the thing, you don't necessarily need to tell everybody that you are the thing if you don't want to. Nor should you feel obligated. If you feel like you should keep to yourself, then do that. You shouldn't feel required to share what it is that you do 24/7, like how social media tells you to. That's not natural. We didn't do that. In fact, TMI used to be a term that existed. Too much information. But now everybody's just bombarded all the time. It's like, no, it's never enough. People are always looking for information and are not receiving it. They're receiving slop that fills the head and then drains out, and then there's nothing in the head. Brain rot. Brain rot's slightly different, but yeah, just you rot your brain, you fry your attention span. All of a sudden, you can't keep up with things that are more interesting than you would otherwise think, because the things that are interesting to you are short. And if something's long and you're bored within the first 5 minutes, you'll never get past the first 5 minutes. Whatever, right? Maybe my own attention span is a little bit damaged as well. I'm not fucking saying that I'm perfect, because I am not a perfect person. I'm a wacky, fucking, very interesting person to some, because of how my unique identities have come together, and how it's almost like anti-identity. Like, I am a very unique identity, but I don't care to be that, and I don't make it a point to talk about it. It's like, you can very much see it. You don't know what it is, because it's a combination of a lot of things. But it's like, whatever. It's like, yeah, I've picked and found a lot of things that I agree with, and those helped shape what I look like. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't, because I don't care to tell, because it's not important. You know? If you look at me and judge me for how I look, cool. That just means that you're exactly the type of person I don't want to be around. You judged me based on how I looked, and you kept stepping. Or maybe you mocked me, or maybe you told somebody about me, or maybe you thought, like, hey, that's weird or whatever, and you kept moving. Awesome. That means it does what it's supposed to do. It pushes people away that otherwise might not be great to have around. Just the first fucking test is If this is strange to you and you aren't willing to give it a chance, good. It's not for you. It's for me. Yeah, whatever. Second test, we stick around to hear what I have to say. Maybe not. I don't talk a whole lot about things publicly because I don't care to, and I never really have. And the only reason I'm doing it now is quite literally because I want to do something with this fucking channel, and I guess if I'd rather it be real, then sure, why not talk to the DAW? Hey, or talk to the DAW. Yeah, I guess technically I'm talking to my digital audio workstation. It's like, hey, digital audio workstation, I have ideas that you can't hear because you're not set to record my voice, but whatever. How long? I've 60 hours on this album, and it's only 30 minutes. That's not long enough. The songs, they're not long enough, man. The ideas, they're not finished. They're not. It's not even. I don't care that they're not perfect. Who cares if they're perfect anymore? I gave up on that. I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, if they're not perfect, cool. But like, they're not finished, and I want to finish them before I put them out at least. 6 days. If I can't get this done in 6 days, I can't get it done in 6 days. So if I can't get it done in 6 days, then I give myself 5 more days, and otherwise, then it's just gonna come out. I'd like to get it done in 6 days. That way, I can like actually like lock in and finish the 10 or so songs that are like a third of the way done, and that would fix a lot of the issues with it. 60 hours of work for 30 minutes of audio. Oh man, I cannot wait for maybe 3 of you to listen to these songs once and like them, and then not listen to them for 5 months, and then maybe they show up in your rotation when you remember them. I haven't even designed the cover art for this album. Maybe you like the sound of my voice. Maybe I dislike you because you're someone that is only nice because you feel like if you're not nice, you're at fault for having a hatred or a disdain for who I am because of the way I've chosen to represent myself, because of how I look, or because of what I say, or because of what I don't think is cool, or because I disagree with what you think is cool or what you think is right. But you're nice because you've been taught you should be nice, but you really just have a disdain for me. But you wouldn't ever tell me that in person. That is for a very specific few people, if they actually do even watch this. But there are people who will do things out of spite, and whatever. I guess if they watch this video and they understand that I'm putting them on blast in public without naming them, because that's the politically correct way to do it, and so be it. Whatever, man. Right? I'm speaking my mind, and I'm speaking my mind as much as I'm willing to speak it. Like, I'm not uncensored 100%. Like, I'm not just saying anything, but I'm really trying to say things that are important and things that have meaning and weight to them. Not just because I can have silliness on my mind. Me saying whatever's on my mind doesn't necessarily mean it's got the same weight as just saying what's important or what I'm thinking about that's relevant to what I'm thinking about. What is that sentence? What I'm thinking about that's relevant to what I'm thinking about. What is that sentence? Right, no, but what I'm thinking about that's got weight in my conscious, right? Could I be in the suit and camera pointed at me while I'm sitting here in this chair, maybe leaned back? Absolutely. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to be on the suit while I'm talking about this, because I feel like if I was in the suit, this would be a different conversation. That might become more of the conversation, and that might take away from what I've said in this video. that I'm saying or that I'm speaking, whatever. This is not a perfect video, and I wouldn't expect it to be a perfect video. I don't expect it to perform well either. I mean, maybe I go back and I private literally or unlist literally everything, and then the only way to view these videos is if you were there and you saved them, or they were unlisted or whatever. Maybe I titled this video unlisting all of my old videos, so that way you should, or 7 days to, I'm unlisting all of my other videos in 7 days. How about that? I'm unlisting most, if not all, of my other videos over the course of the next 7 days. So if you have favorites, it's time to add them. I might just fucking upload this raw or whatever, and then maybe I say this in this video and then I forget, or I decide against it, and then you don't know, because I only either tell my close friends or I forget to mention in the next video if there is a next video, or maybe there isn't a next video and I just don't do it because I never make a next video and I don't follow it. Who knows? Those words served a purpose, and that purpose was merely to clarify the possibilities. I'm living my life mostly how I want to live it right now. Mostly. I'm making the music I want, right? But I'm not where I want to be. I'm where I want to be with my music, right? Like, obviously satisfied, right? I can make whatever the hell I want, and if I don't know how to do that, I learn it, because I know how to learn fast, because I've spent so much time getting good at learning things. If I lock in, I can learn it easily. It won't be difficult if I'm willing to put all of my effort into picking it up, no matter how hard it is. It won't be difficult because it will be a challenge, and it will be easy after a while. Or it won't be, not that it won't be difficult, but it won't feel difficult, is what I meant to say there. That's how I make that make sense. It won't feel difficult because it will be a challenge that I'm enjoying, that I actively want to challenge myself with. What would you challenge yourself with? If you've got no hobbies, or if your hobbies are merely playing games, what type of skill would you want that's creative? You should pick up something that's creative. And I say that to you because if you pick up a creative skill, it will give you a creative skill that you have, that you probably would otherwise wish you have, or cope by using AI to do for you, which is happening way too much, and it's sickening and sad. It's like, I wish I would have learned to do art. Oh, I'm gonna have the robot do it for me. No. You were supposed to make the robots that do the worthless jobs, like be a cashier, so you could be at home drawing the art. Not you work as a cashier so you can have the robot draw the art. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we so backwards? Why does humanity hurt itself so much, man? Why do we hurt each other? Why do we hurt ourselves so much? Oh, I know why. It's because we've been conditioned to do so. I'm not going to talk about that much. I'm not going to talk about that much. I'm not going to talk about that much. I'm not going to talk about that. Maybe not even in this video. Maybe a little bit. Maybe not. Who knows? I don't. Because if I'm saying whatever the hell I want, but I'm saying it publicly, I do have to be a little bit more careful, because all of a sudden anybody can see it because it's public. But then again, who cares, right? If nobody's listening to what I have to say anyway, and I'm speaking out into the void, then should it matter? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm fucking making precautions to be careful about saying whatever the hell I want to say while I can, in case I can't in the future, or in case somebody decides they're going to go back with whatever methods they come up with, like the Wayback Machine, to see what my channel used to have on it. Who knows? I don't. I can't until I do, because I'll learn, or maybe it won't be applicable, or maybe it won't be a situation that even comes to fruition. People have told me before that I will be a very rich man in my life. I don't laugh to say like I don't believe them. I know a lot, and knowledge is power, right? I know a lot about the things that I'm interested in, enough to be able to help people who share the interests. For the most part, you're a musician, I might be able to give you some advice, and you might be able to give me some advice. Maybe you might not think about the advice you give me because the advice I give you is that more impactful to you. But it's not a competition. If I know how to do what you're doing or what you're trying to do, and I give you a tip or trick there, and you think about that and it changes your view, and then you say something that you don't even think is significant, but then I'm like, wow, I remember when I was there, thank you for that. That actually reminded me of something crazy. And then that's also insight that I can benefit from. And you never even thought much of it. Like, same thing, different side, whatever. What am I talking about, right? My throat dry from all this damn talking. I'm not used to talking this much. Not to nobody. Talking to nobody mean you in a conversation, you stop talking and you listen. In a conversation, you stop talking and you listen. But when it's you talking to the camera on your own, you're just talking. You got the audio keeps going. The sounds keep moving. I'm talking to this microphone. How long have I been talking to this microphone? How long? Yeah, man, you know what I should have done? I should have said at the beginning, yo, timestamps. Cat, dog, bear, dolphin, horse, bull, snake, dragon, mouse. Those are all words. Those are all animals. Is there any significance to those animals? Maybe. It depends on who you ask and what you're asking. But those are just words that I happen to think at that moment in time, and there was no reason for me to say any of them. Just a little random like that. I'm going to cringe at that in the future, and then after I'm going to cringe at that in the future, I'm going to go back and think, damn, you know what? That's actually kind of relatable, and I'm back to the square one. I'm back at... It's a me, Mario. No, my voice is shot. I've been talking... I don't know how long I've been talking straight to this microphone, but whatever. Somebody is going to hear the sound of my voice and they're going to go, you know what? I'm watching this entire video through to the end and maybe they learn a thing or two. Maybe they only listen to the sound of my voice because they miss it because they haven't heard it. Maybe that's something that happens. I can't know. And personally, while I'm recording, I'm not necessarily going to care as much about that while I'm recording because I'm not focused on that. That's not something I personally think I should be focused on. Like, that's kind of weird to think, yo, I'm talking to this mic like people are going to care about what I have to say. That's that kind of, I don't know how to feel about feeling that or like having that be a notion, like talking to a microphone expecting people to care. That kind of feels weird to me, right? Like, maybe that does happen, cool, but like I'm not gonna think about that while I'm recording, if that makes sense. Like there's no reason for me to say that either. That's just another one of those things, and maybe I'm just juggling air right now. It's like nobody SoundCloud rappers. No, there's a specific artist that does that. I don't remember who, but one of my friends showed me that. And then the whole thing with vocal stimming, let's go gambling, right? That's an interesting thing that came about, and I guess it's always been around, but now it's so common that people who you might not expect to do something like that do it. Why is my water bottle singing to me? Why is my water bottle singing to me? Is that a sign to drink? Yeah, we're drinking water. We're drinking water. My water bottle started singing to me. People who I would never expect to be like on some vocal stim. I mean, it's not like a bad thing to vocal stim. But people who I would never expect to vocal stimming, it's like, damn, it's just a common thing now. People just do that. Like, all people that engage in internet culture have a chance of now developing the vocal stim thing, where they will hear something and then they'll go say it. I wonder if I should make a video and just like only say a bunch of words, and then that becomes like buzzwords for somebody. Like, imagine I start maybe I record a video directly after this one where it's like, you know what? I'm going to continue talking in the microphone. In fact, you guys are hearing more and more birds. Why? Because it's some 5 in the morning, not 6 in the morning at all. Like, my microphone is very, you can hear the airplane in the morning sky. The birds are chirping. I guess maybe some of the benefits of talking into this microphone very authentically about things, you get to now know, as an outsider, a little bit more about me. If you're an outsider. If you're an insider, then you get to see maybe a little bit more about me in a different way. It's like, this conversation is not one that I'm having with Teal. This is a conversation that Teal is having with himself, while also out into the void. What does that sound like? It's different. He doesn't talk like that. Not normally. Or maybe he only talks like that rarely, and now we have a recorded instance of this type of conversation, and it's one-sided and all-sided and no-sided. It's a circle. In my mind, a circle has one side, 0 sides, and all of the sides. It's a cool shape. I am in control of my life. I am in control of my life. 100% I am in control of my life. Whether I'm living it the way I want to or not is my fault as an adult. Where it wouldn't be as much as a child, it is as an adult my fault. I can choose to learn things. I can choose to surround myself with people who know things, or I cannot choose to surround myself with people who know things. I can surround myself with people who waste time. I choose what I want in my life, and I get good at making these choices as a child, which is very strange to say, but you will find things as a kid that you like, and you will get good at finding things that you like because you'll understand what it is to like them. And that's something you learn very early on. People say, I'm not good at making decisions. Yeah, you are. You're really good at making decisions. You do what you want, or you do what you're told. Or you don't do what you want because you think about something that tells you that it's not worth it. But you make a choice and you understand the reasoning by the time you're like 11, I think. I don't know. You start to put together the reasoning. Even if you don't know a whole lot about how the world works, that doesn't necessarily stop you from understanding that if a cookie tastes good, right? If that cookie tastes good, it might tempt you to go against the rules and get it early. You know enough about the world with that instance to make your own choices. Not enough about the world to navigate it like an adult would, but enough about the world to make your own choices. And those choices will have more and more weight as you grow older. I don't know why this came to me as a topic of conversation, but oh, right, yeah, we're talking about decision making, right? Just like, hey, as an adult, I am a lot responsible for the things that happen in my life. There might be things that happen to me randomly, like luck and chance are still very much things, right? Like, hey, I learned how to make music, right? And then all of a sudden I'm presented with an opportunity to make music for someone or show it off to somebody, right? I didn't create that opportunity for myself. But I can absolutely choose to take it, right? Like, that opportunity being presented is not something I did, but I can choose to take it, and that would be where that choice comes in. Like, I didn't make it. I didn't go and say, hey, this is going to happen, but it's presented and it's now a choice, and I can then that becomes a part of my story, whether or not I make a choice like that. What is even any of what I'm saying in this video other than a reflection of the thoughts in my head put out into the world for some to see? Maybe all see it, probably not. Or maybe not all see it. Not every single person in existence sees it. That's not possible. What I'm saying is put out into the world for all to see, not necessarily because all will see it. Maybe I private it, and that's what I wanted to say. And I guess maybe I got too caught up on the words I'm saying to clarify. But I don't like to self-diagnose. That was random. I skipped. I realized I didn't say the sentence that would make make sense. Never mind. Stupid shit. Whatever. Who cares? I'm not saying that to put myself down or anything. It's like, if I don't feel like clarifying because it's just gonna be word salad, I'm just whatever, bro. Drop it. Who cares, dog? We moving on. Like, I would just abandon the thought if it gets to be to the point where I'm just like speaking words and those words are fighting each other instead of helping each other, right? Speaking words and having them fight each other, as in they are no longer conveying what it is I want to say simply. If I change one word or another, it changes the whole thing. And if I say it wrong, it changes the whole thing. And then if I go back and then say, no, I meant to say this, now all of a sudden the words are fighting. Whereas I could just say, hey, I'm not going to do that. It's whatever. That's not what I meant to say. Cool. Move on. I wanted to put a song out yesterday. I wanted to make a song and put it out. July 11th. I wanted to put a song out. Right? But I didn't go and make anything. Somebody's getting ready to go to work. My dog is very excited because she hears somebody at the front door, and she's a good girl. She's a good guard dog. Maybe not. Actually, no. The idea that she is a guard dog is a fun one to think about until an event like that happens where she would have to be one. Right? Like, it's all fun and games until you're actually in a place where, oh man, this dog's life might be in danger. Someone's breaking into the house or whatever. This is a stupid conversation. Oh, fuck that shit. I'm not talking about that. Whatever, bro. I'm not putting that energy out into the world. Nobody's coming in this damn house. Why? Because there ain't nothing in here worth taking. Why? Because I'm poor just like everybody else in the country that's not the rich. Why? Because that's how the world works. The rich take from the poor, and then the poor get fed up with it, and then they eat the rich. And then only a handful of the poor become the rich, and then the cycle continues. And then maybe there's a little bit of war here and there to make rich richer. And then maybe the war is actually fought over something, actually, even sometimes. And then we've got victors, and then some of the rules and the ideas that become popular and create society change, but the overall flow is still the same. And that's what you get out of history. That's what you're supposed to learn in history. I bet you don't ever think about history. Why? Because to you, it's not going to serve you in the world. Why would it? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? If you've not grown up, and if you are grown up, right? If you are 18 or 21 or 25 or whatever, do you know what you're doing with your life? Does anybody really? I mean, even just a little bit. If you've got a career, congratulations. If you don't like your career, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you can get that sorted, right? If you don't have a career, and if you don't know what it's like to have one, or if you think you're going to not be able to get there, don't worry about it. If you're open-minded, anything can happen, and that's more important than anything else right now. Being open to new ideas. You don't have to accept everything, and you shouldn't accept everything, but at least being open and considering, weighing the pros and cons, and being able to come back and return to things in the future if needed. Right? It's like, hey, 1 + 1 is 2. Yeah, sure. Right? What if we don't know that 5 × 5 is 25? Right? What if somebody tells you that 5 × 5 is 20 and you accept that? What if later someone tells you that 5 × 5 is 25 and you think about that? Right? It's like, wait, so which one's right? What if for some reason they said 5 × 5 is 30, and then all of a sudden now you've got 2 incorrect answers? If you weren't ever willing to change your mind in the second scenario, either way you'd be wrong. But at least in the first, you'd never know that somebody gave you the right answer. Maybe that's an interesting thing to think about. I don't ever have these types of conversations with people unless they actually, like, not necessarily show that they're interested in having a conversation like this, because these types of conversations, with me at least, they happen more naturally. Like, we'll be talking about something, and then somebody will say something that makes me then talk about what I've learned about the world in my 23 years of life. And then we'll get here. Could you say I'm disillusioned with the world? The world is both a beautiful and an awful place. There are a lot of good things and bad things happening at the same time in different places and in the same places. But it all depends on what you're looking at. Literally, your perspective is everything. How you think about a thing changes what that thing is in your head. Even if that's not what the thing is out in the world, it's what that thing is in your head. You could be right, you could be wrong in your head. And the world would never know unless you told them or showed them. What are we doing? Speaking my mind into the abyss and watching what happens next. You'll never believe it. I'm not expecting a damn thing. I'm not talking about anything that is of interest to anyone, and there's no topic of the video. Maybe I title it Things I Have Learned. Things I think about. There is no way to clickbait, buzzword, YouTube pale, bring in numbers with this video. And this is not that type of video anyway. This is a video where I'm talking to the microphone and I'm just saying stuff. And if you agree with it, you agree with it. If you don't, you don't. If you never fucking find out because you don't watch it, so be it. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm taking the time to talk to the microphone right now, and somebody might listen. Somebody might be hearing these words as I speak in the future from the recording, because unless I'm being listened to by the government right now, then it or listened to by my family in the other room, it would be impossible for somebody to hear what I'm saying as I'm saying it if they aren't also me. That's a stupid sentence, and there's no point in saying it, but I said it anyway, and it serves the purpose of explaining something that is a dumb moment. It's like, yeah, bro, of course. I mean, who's going to be hearing you speaking at like 5:30 in the morning? 5:30? Is it really 5:30 in the morning? It is 5:30 in the morning. I didn't even check my phone until after I said that. What is the actual point of anything that is happening in social media? And if you don't know the answer to this question, good. But the answer is whatever, bro. I don't care. I don't fuck it, whatever. I'm not gonna answer a question. Enjoy things. I feel like I am at fault if I disillusion somebody with the things I say. If it means that it's not as good, if I tell you the secret behind why it was good in the first place, then maybe I shouldn't tell you. Am I wrong for deciding that, hey, I'd rather you enjoy the thing than explain to you why you shouldn't? Am I wrong for deciding, hey, maybe you're better off enjoying the thing? Is it rude for me to not tell you why you shouldn't enjoy something if it shouldn't be enjoyed, in my opinion? I don't think so. You can enjoy it. And if me trying to give you information that might help you make a better choice about something, whatever, who cares? But I'm not, I don't know, whatever. I'm being concepts like these. I don't know what the hell I could be talking about, but in my head I'm like, wait a minute. What would somebody think about I'm talking about? What would somebody think I'm talking? And I get in my head I'm like, oh, this sounds like I'm talking about somebody that got canceled, and then like somebody who isn't aware that that person got canceled or whatever, and they enjoy their videos or whatever. Or like maybe a TV show is actually like the hidden secret meanings or whatever are actually like really bad, or like something was going on behind the scenes in the show, and a lot of the scenes now have a double meaning because one of the actors was horrible and actually doing terrible things or whatever. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe something that somebody enjoys that is actually like seen as bad is actually not bad at all and is really good. But upon showing them that, hey, this thing they fuck with is actually something else, they don't like it anymore because it's not what they thought, or whatever. Who cares? I don't even care about my own line of thought. I feel like it's stupid now. Not because it's not, I don't know why, but I feel like pursuing the lines of thought to the end and being satisfied with the line of thought is, I don't care anymore. Like, yes, I can think in this way. That's cool, awesome, right? Whatever. At the same time, it's like, hey, yeah, sure, we could talk about the hypothetical or the argument, or hypothetically for the sake of the argument. I mean, we could, whatever, bro. Who cares? I don't. Live a life you love. 5 words that changed my life for as long as I can remember them, until I unfortunately forgot them. And then I saw them again. And then I'm like, damn. Crazy how when I forgot these words and their meanings in that sentence, things actually did get worse. Because I forgot that the whole point was living a life I loved. It's like I forgot that sentence, and I started doing it, and I started doing it so well that it was amazing. And then I fucking forgot about it because I was doing it. And then when I stopped loving it, because I stopped doing things that brought me fulfillment, and started doing things because I felt like I had to, it stopped being something that I loved to do. Because it's all of a sudden, it's like, hey, I have to do this, but I don't really feel any, like, there's nothing there. Like, this is meaningless. I feel like I have to do it, but it's meaningless. There's no real anything behind it anymore. I stopped loving it, and then all of a sudden I'm not living the life I love. And then I forgot about it. Whatever. Cool. Following that line of thought to the end and explaining it, nah, whatever. Who cares? I don't care anymore. Maybe you get enough of it from like the preview. There's a vocal stem for you. Preview. If you've gotten this far in the video, I want to see like the entirety of my comment section. Just preview. Just a giant text wall of like 2,000 characters plus. Preview with an exclamation mark and we'll say a blue square emoji next to it. Preview. If you get this far, do that, and I will pin the first comment that does it, and maybe heart the rest until I inevitably private or unlist or stop checking. Is this the end of the video? Maybe I make that the title of this video. Preview. Yeah, I make EDM music, if you aren't aware. It's because it's my favorite type of music. This is an album that has a bunch of songs that feature some of my friends that I've made on the internet that also make this type of music. And then a lot of original works as well. And I might just get a whole bunch of people on this that I've met in the scene as well, that I'm relatively close with, and then just that'll fix the problem of it not being long enough. I don't know, but what I do know is that while the sky is blue and the sun is shining, even if the clouds cover the sun, from our view, the sun is still shining and the sky is still blue. And I'm going to live for me, and you should live for you. Goodbye for now. Preview.